Okay, this video is going to be slightly about acceptance. I'm basically doing this for myself. um, I'm 3 months out now, and I'm having a hell of a time accepting that I have to tolerate this. People say, you just live day by day with this horrible, horrible thing. It's hard to accept benzo recovery at all because you're so freaking sick. I don't know if it's just me, but when people are like, oh, I've got the flu. Oh, it's so horrible, worst part of my life, blah, blah, blah. And then you sit and think, you're going to be better in a week. I might not be better next year. And I would take a horrific flu any day. I remember one time I had strep many years ago when I first moved back to the Midwest after my divorce. I got strep. I didn't know what it was, no insurance, so I was going to one of those kind of like a minute clinic, just whatever. I went to the place and they gave me some antibiotics, and they didn't work. So my strep got really bad. I mean, a fever was so bad I was hallucinating. I got some new antibiotics. So they finally got the right strain, and they got new antibiotics, and it worked. In the end, it cleared up. But I remember being so sick. The only thing I could figure to do is, take a cool washcloth and take some aspirin and stuff to get the fever down. And what did I do? I went out and worked. I was still able to work. And it was probably the most sick I've ever been, other than now. But I look back to that, and I was able to go out and work. I can't do it now. I'm to a point I can't even go out and work. My anxiety is so bad. I've always had some anxiety, but not like this. Holy shit. It's frightening. You have to pretend when you're I went to yesterday. I made myself go to the post office. I dropped off my mail, and on the way back, I stopped at and got some pho, or pho, as I'm supposed to say. And since I ordered it to go, I was standing there talking to the guy I know pretty well at the restaurant. And the whole time I'm looking at his face, and his face is morphing a little bit. Not to a point where it's completely freaking me out, but I'm looking at his face going, oh God, this is freaking weird. And then my anxiety, I don't know if you get this or not, but I get light goes up and down, kind of like, turning up and down a wall light, but it kind of goes up and down to a point. And it doesn't always do that, but in odd situations it does. I think the more stress I get, the more it does it. And that was happening, and I'm just like, after a while I felt bad because I literally almost cut off the whole conversation because I couldn't take it anymore. Anxiety is just brutal. I could tolerate a lot in life, but the anxiety when you're really sick kills it. So it's like, give me one or the other. Give me a lot of anxiety and make me feel good, or have me feel bad like I do now and give me way less anxiety. I mean, the first month and a half of being off benzos, my anxiety was perfectly fine. It was actually better than it's ever been. I don't know how that happened. All I know is I was really sick, but I was able to go out and work. I couldn't really see what the hell was going on, but I worked. Now, with feeling this screwed up in my head, morphing things and making everything bizarre and flashing and losing time and space, it's crazy. I can't go out and do that. I'll put myself into panic attacks left and right, and I seriously don't want to have a stroke. I need to have my stress down, and I'm seriously stressed out anyway. But I'm supposed to accept all this. A lot of people say, well, it's you have to, and that's when you'll turn a corner. Then am I never going to turn a corner? Because honestly, I can't accept this. I can't accept feeling this way, especially when I get worse almost every day. I didn't feel like this 2 weeks ago. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I know after last night, eating the wrong thing and having horrible symptoms, I know today's way worse. I know I'm a little more dizzy than normal. It's rough. But just accept it when you have bills to pay, when you have things to do, places to go. I know you're supposed to change your life around, and you're going to have to deal with it until things change for you. But things might not change for a long time. And that's what people don't realize is, and a lot of people don't get this, and I've heard it so many times, and I didn't believe it at first. And now, after all the research I've done on benzodiazepines, that I would have rather been on heroin and got off heroin. I would have rather been on heroin for a year and went into a clinic and got cold turkeyed off of heroin and known in a month I'd start feeling better than being on benzos for 3 months at a really low dose, knowing that 3 months later I'm still in pure hell, knowing that this could go on for a year or two, or whatever. It could go on for, I'm supposed to accept that. I'm never going to, I may have to accept that I'm this sick, but I'm never going to accept what happened to me. There's no way. And as I talk with, friends online and acquaintances online and even you guys and all that, and I will never stop. To a point when I feel better, you're always going to kind of, go away from the forums. You're going to try not to talk about it so you don't have to remember. Because you don't want to talk about it all the time if you're feeling better. I know, like, the few times that I felt really good, the last thing I was going to do is go on a forum and talk about benzos. But there's a point in my life to where when I do get better and I'm able to, I'm going to help as many people as I can. I mean, this is why I'm doing these videos, because there's going to be times where I'm just not going to want to do it. Hopefully these videos will help. I'm not full of information. I'm just telling you what I know at the time while I'm dealing with it. Yeah, some people have it way worse off than me. Some people can't even walk or talk. But the difference with me is I can communicate fine. It doesn't glitch in my brain at all. I can totally communicate fine. Walking is tough. It can be hard because when you're so detached from reality, so are your limbs. They don't feel real. It's like they're not there. So you'll be fine walking for a minute. Next thing you know, you think about it and you can't even see or feel your legs. You see them, but they don't feel like your own. And the next thing you know, you trip up because you can't grasp left and right walking. It's so messed up. That's what I was doing when I was trying to walk outside. Last week, I walk around my building. I never stray far because I get too nervous, especially when my heart rate's been so high. Luckily, it's going down, so hopefully it stays that way. But I was walking around my building, and I see myself walking, but I couldn't grasp how I was doing it. So bizarre. It's the same thing on the treadmill. I mean, I used to get that, where you're on a treadmill for so long, and you just don't even realize how your body keeps moving in that same pace. And you're like, what? Next thing you know, you're thinking about it way too much. So it's like trying not to think about things. Then it's not as weird. But I'm supposed to accept that. That's normal. It's hard to accept normal when things change every day. One day my body will be buzzing like crazy. Next day it's not buzzing, but my mind is repetitively giving me messages. Or this happens to me all the time, where you say something and you hear your own voice in your head and it's loud and it repeats. And then you're listening to somebody else reply to your answer while your own voice is repeating. So creepy. And yet you're supposed to cope with that anxiety. I'm going to accept that. That's fine. Anyway, point is, acceptance is really hard in this situation. And a lot of people past 7 months seem to tell me that. So I'm thinking in a few months I'll start accepting this. I think I have a little bit, I don't cry as often as I did. I cry every day almost, but not as much as I was. I still get depressed, but I was never a depressed person, so I get depressed, but I'm more depressed from the situation, being situational, not normally just depressed. So it's going to be funny when I see a new psychiatrist one day. They're going to want me to put me on stuff for depression and everything else. And it's like, all this stuff is happening because of this one thing. I'm not going to go on drugs to mask it now. I mean, I did that with the insomnia. That's why I'm on Remeron. And that destroys. That's another thing I'll always fight about. And I'll make sure people don't take Remeron if you don't have to. It helps a lot of people for depression, though. It seems I've read a lot of good and bad, but mostly bad. And I'm pretty sure that's still a big part of my issue. And I'm supposed to accept that as well. When you feel so screwed up every day, it's hard to accept that you're kind of doing it to yourself. I accept that I'm in the situation. I accept that. But I don't have to like it. I can't accept that things change every day. I can't accept that doctors are doing this to people. I was only on a low dose for 3 months, people. I've gone through hell. It's been over 3 months now. I've been off. That's not right. I've always been a super sensitive person, so it makes sense that I'm as sick as I am. If I was on for years, there's no way I'd even get off. I would just stay sick, intolerance and stuff for the rest of my life. I just would. I would not even try to come off of it. Like now, there's no doubt. I just stick with it. I'm not going to go back on it. And the hopes or the knowledge that I'll get better one day, keeps you going. I'm going to need a lot of therapy, I'll tell you that. And I've always been a fan of therapy, but I'm not a fan of doctors just giving pills for everything. I never have been, and I've tried so many of them to get past my social anxiety, which I severely miss, by the way. The social anxiety is nothing compared to this. Before I used to go out. I used to go to shows. Yeah, I was kind of freaking out inside my head a little bit, but I was able to do it and cope. But I didn't realize how good I was at coping then. Till now. I accept that I'm going to have to tolerate this. I don't accept how long it might take. That I can't grasp yet. Being this sick is unreal. It's like telling somebody that's never really been sick for a long time, okay, at your worst ever, you've ever been sick, take that, magnify it, and stick with it. And it will never go away. It will go away but you'll never know when. It's not like other drugs where there's a, you're up here, you're that sick, and then it goes down and down and feels better, and you feel better, and you feel better. This is so messed up. Non-linear crap. Feel this way one day like I do today, and the next day a little bit better, next day same, next day a little way worse, a little bit better. You get a little window for a few hours, and then that shuts and hits you really hard, and that can go on for years. I mean, as long as I can get out and work and stuff, I can tolerate. I can tolerate a lot, but being stuck here sucks. Sucks. I miss getting out. Going out to dinner, whatever. I miss it. But anyway, I accept it. No. I don't accept that my music studio has been dismantled and half of it sold. I'm supposed to accept that too? That's shit. Luckily, I still have enough to, put it back together when I move. Stuff I'm just not going to sell, and I'd rather die than just get a few bucks to pay a bill. Music's my life, and that's what I do. So I'm not going to accept that I'm getting rid of everything I love during this. I don't care if one of the piece things might pay a phone bill. Screw that. I got rid of almost everything that was important. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just, a day over 3 months. Really looking forward to the future. I still make plans of things I want to do. As you should too. I'm always looking forward. It's going to be a hard fucking ride, man. It's not going to be easy. It's like I was saying, take somebody, tell them that they're going to be this sick, and it's going to go on for months after months after months. And after a while, you have to just deal with it and go along with your day. No more laying around. I'm losing motivation quick. It sucks. It's like, and I have to force myself to do things. And things like this help. I talk about stuff, and then I get a little motivated. I get my mind off of, stuff. Even though I'm talking about it, it's something. Gets my mind out of my own head, I should, kind of say. But, I miss writing music, and I miss everything I used to be, and I'm supposed to accept that. And I'll never be the same person again. That's the thing, is people don't realize you will never be the same person again. No way. Hopefully you'll grasp that same person with a whole lot more tools to live. Because if I can make it back to anywhere near I was before benzos, the tools I'm learning just from this alone should give myself a better life, and it should should yours too. And as long as we don't get in any trouble with getting reinstated by mistake at a hospital, or that scares me. And I'm supposed to accept every day that if something bad happens to me, that no matter what information I have, which I still don't have a medical ID bracelet. I'm going to do that once I move. I suggest everybody get a medical ID bracelet. It says no benzodiazepines. At least, they don't do that. I don't want to be reinstated. Ever. Anyway, that's just me talking. I was only supposed to do this for about 5 minutes, and it turned into a 20-minute video. So, have a good one, guys, and just take care of yourself the best you can. And let's work on acceptance and knowing what we're going to have to deal with. and knowing that it can be a really long time. And hopefully the people around us that do, that don't know how it feels, uh, can try to understand that being so severely sick. And like a lot of people tell me on my videos, well, you don't seem that sick. Well, yeah, because you know what? It's been 3 months of dealing with it. After a while, you just pick up and go. I've been doing that my whole life with different ailments. People say it doesn't seem like you have any problems. It's like, oh, only if you only lived in my shoes. If you had the flu for a week, you look like crap and you're laying on the couch. But if you have the flu for 6 months, months after, you're going to start getting up and figuring things out and just doing stuff. You don't have a choice. You're going to start looking better, but you'll be like, oh, I got a horrible flu. And people are going to be like, well, you look okay. Well, yeah, because, it's just like when you first get off benzos. I probably looked way worse because I didn't even get up. But now I look back and be like, when I first got off benzos, I kind of wish I was at that point because my head wasn't this bad then. I'll take that physical stuff over this any day. Blah, blah. I can go on and on and on and on, but I got more videos to do. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, comment, message. You can find me on Facebook. Definitely, if you request me on Facebook, send me a message. Sometimes I don't get to it for a while. Send me a message that says who you are, because a lot of times I just decline. A lot of spam accounts are requesting me, so I usually just delete them. So send me a message and tell me who you are, and you just say if you watch my videos or you just want to chat about this stuff, that's fine. Anyway, have a good one, guys. We'll talk soon.